Alright, so I kind of feel like Quincy is one of those heroes where I showcased him after he got buffed, but I haven't used him much since, and he's actually incredibly good right now. So with that being said, we're using Quincy strategy, starting off with Dart, Mortar Farm on building site. Let's run it. And yeah, this is one of the better Quincy maps, I would argue, just because Quincy in general, I feel like should be used on the more difficult maps, or provides more value on the difficult maps, due to the reason that Quincy's biggest benefit over other heroes is arguably the fact that he is super cheap and great in the first couple rounds, which means on harder maps where you generally have to invest a lot of money on defense, Quincy kind of serves that role and lets you get farming early. Now, opponent here is going sub with Science Gwendolyn, so that's definitely an interesting decision. Don't really know what they're running, but I'm gonna try to go for an early banana farm. Actually, before I even get a triple dart up, that's my overall plan here, and should be a pretty fun time. We have this as a 1-1-0 dart. Pretty odd dart monkey upgrade, but it appears to be working out, and we'll just build this into a 1-3-0 trip dart. Let's hit 1-2-0. Okay. Trip dart's 350, so I should be able to afford that pretty easily. I actually did not get a single banana that round, what the heck? So I guess I could have technically got trip dart before the farm and had the same amount of bananas produced. That's actually kind of weird to think about. Alright, they got their farm down, nicely done. Now, submarine on this map's definitely not a great option, so I'm wondering if I can do a little bit of layering. And does that do anything against them? Yeah, we forced a tower boost. I'll take that. I feel like they're going to struggle a lot with sub here, personally. Let's do another layered rush. Maybe force the airburst starts. Yep, there's the airburst starts first. Forced. Perfect. And then I am going to utilize a Quincy ability here, and we'll save it for crossbow next. $600 for a crossbow, so it's a little bit expensive, but I should be able to afford it in time for white balloons, which is the plan. I also don't have razor sharp shots, but I don't really need it if I get the crossbow up. I can save money on that upgrade, I think. Yeah, crossbow has been bought. Perfect. Quick shots. Very quick shots. And now I'm good. Alright. They used a cocktail. I think after cocktail dies out, I'm actually going to layer on them and balloon boost. Even with triple gun sub, I think they'll struggle against this play. Balloon boost. Yeah, they're in trouble. They're in big trouble. Oh, well, triple guns is actually doing alright. I think they might be dead, though. The amount of leaks I'm seeing right now. Yep, there we go. Okay. So, that was a short game, but that's a decent showcase to kind of how Quincy can help you out in the early game quite a bit, even on the more difficult maps in the game. Alright, we got Oasis next, which should be an interesting one, because Quincy can give me a lot of greed here. But I'm thinking about what strategy to run. And honestly, let's do this. Boomerang and Ninja farm. How about that? There's a couple of reasons why I think the strategy could be fun with Quincy. Normally you do run the strategy with BTN for that camo detection, but you really don't need it with Ninja. You can use counter espionage. And the reason why I think it's going to be fun with Quincy is because Quincy gives you a little bit of camo support early game, which is fantastic. It allows Boomerang to greed quite a bit too in the early game, because Boomerang can sometimes have a shaky first couple of rounds. And yeah, opponent... Okay, what is going on in their end? Wizard and all the way in the back. Didn't they have Churchill as well? So it's like... I guess they're just not going to get an early Churchill. I don't know, bro. I don't know what some of these Whole Masters players be doing. They end up balloon boosting at me. I'm honestly just going to tank the leaks on round 1. That's one thing you can do with Quincy. You can literally get a round 1 banana farm half the time with him if you're on an easier map. Just due to the fact that Quincy is so cheap and decently strong for $450. You know what I'm saying? Alright. Got our Boomerang down, though. I don't really care if I leak. That's not really a concern of mine, but I will be upgrading my Boomerang. Somehow I actually did not leak, which is kind of surprising with how much greed I did. And then we will just start upgrading our banana farm here. Since they aren't sending me space balloons, which would be more deadly. Okay, now they are. As I say, I don't have to upgrade my Boomerang much. But now we'll upgrade it. We'll make this... I could get red hot rings on this, but I'm actually going to wait off on it. Just because I'd like to upgrade the farm more first. Be extremely greedy. I mean, they call me Ryan Greedholic for a reason. Let's get greater production. Alright, that is an extremely greedy play. But that's literally what Quincy can do for you. Now round 4. Are they going to send me pinks? We're going to get red hot rings now. I'll put you on first. Clean up some of these balloons, because they stopped ecoing. I really don't know what this opponent's doing, I'll be completely honest. They started with a 3rd tier wizard, and still haven't gotten Churchill down. For anyone that's new to the game, like some heroes, it's kind of okay to wait to place the hero, but in the majority of cases, you want to be getting your hero down as early as possible. Round 1, round 2, or round 2 preferred. It's already round 5, and my opponent does not have Churchill placed, but Churchill also has a slower leveling curve. So that's another problem about placing him late. Now it's going to level up incredibly slow. And on top of that, I'm cringing at this gameplay, I'm sorry. On top of that, their Churchill placement is awful. You know, again, if you're a new player, you might look at that Churchill spot and say, Ryan, what do you mean that Churchill placement's awful? It's placed in the center of the map, you know. It's got pretty good map coverage there. If you could just vision a Churchill being placed there. It's got good map coverage, you can see a lot of track length. How is that a bad spot? You have to think about how the projectiles travel, guys. So, in their spot, it's kind of just not piercing through that many balloons, but if you placed it somewhere at the end of like a long straightaway, like right here, for example, and put on last targeting, all of the shots would just go down this line and be really effective, and also go against the grain of the balloons, which is generally what you want. And on top of that, here on last targeting would also be able to clean up the balloons coming on the back end. So there's just been a lot of mistakes from the left-hand side. I'm assuming this guy's pretty new to the game, but yeah. So if you're watching the video, Mr. Doctor, I hope you kind of pick up on those tips I'm giving you. But either way, as for my strategy, you can see I got my plantation extremely early. Quincy and Boomerang are able to achieve that, and we'll start saving up for a secondary farm. I probably will get aggressive like round 11, round 13, unless my opponent pre-buys a lot of defense. That's always something I need to think about. We'll see. Second farm can go right here. The nice part about Quincy is he has camo detection, so I don't really necessarily need a counter-espionage ninja early. I can utilize Quincy to defend some camo balloons. Camo rush is always expensive too, so most of the time people don't really want to send big camo rushes, as it's not wise. They have a Shimmer, a third tier wizard, a Churchill, and a bad location. Their Churchill, remember, it's very low leveled because they got it super late, so it's not really going to help them much defensively. For that reason, I think a rush could be pretty effective. We're going to do a little bit of layering and then purples on top. Purples are obviously really strong against the wizard because wizard does not have purple popping power. And even with tower boost and Churchill level 3, no, they do hang on actually. Nicely done. I'll say they don't hang on, but they do. Let's get a ninja down here. I think they're completely dead against a re-rush though, because now they don't have any abilities available. And yeah, GG. If you're watching this, Doctor, I hope my tips helped you out, because yeah, there is quite a bit that could be improved with that gameplay. Alright, next match of today's video, we are on the map Dino Graveyard. Same strategy as before, because why not? I do enjoy the strategy quite a bit, so why not run it again? And yeah, Dino Graveyard, I think the Boomerang spot's right about here, if I remember correctly. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. Opponent's going Wizard and Quincy. Okay, so Quincy from both of us is interesting. Alright, I rock with it. I'm going to try the same exact greedy play as last time and go for a round 1 banana farm, which is probably a worse decision on this map. We'll see. Let's get our Boomerang down now. Last target on the Boomerang, just to maximize the pierce. I'm fine to tank a bunch of leaks here. And yeah, they're balloon boosting at me. Let's upgrade the Boomerang. I'm going to leak quite a bit here, I think. I'd actually stop sending green balloons. That's a mistake from my opponent. If I were them, you hold down the spaced greens, force a ton of leaks, punish me for going for that round 1 banana farm. But you know, they didn't do that, so I'll take it. Glaives on my end. Let's send them some space deco. I think that'll overrun their Quincy and Fireball Wizard. I'm also going to upgrade Red Hot Rings on my end, so they can't layer with these blue balloons too well. Okay. So as for their strategy, Wizard Farm Quincy, I'm gonna guess Wizard Ice Farm right now, or Wizard Bomb Farm. One of those two strategies I think is likely. So I feel like I like my chances with against both those loadouts. That's my current assessment of things. Increase production. Nice. And we'll just continue sending the Space Balloon Eco. Looks like we're defending pink balloons completely fine. This Boomerang spot is actually cooking. I like how it's just, you know, turning that bin there. Feels good. We ended up greeting all the way for greater production, which is going to limit my forwarding of the Glaive Ricochet, but I'm hoping I can still get it up in time. We can use the Cyber Quincy ability to buy us some time here. Wait on it. Wait on Cyber Quincy ability. Now. Yeah, it does a lot of damage. This is looking good, and now I can get the Glaive Ricochet up. Come on. Perfect. I'm chilling. That was a pretty solid early game. That was clean. And my opponent's early game was a lot better than the previous ones as well. This guy has an idea of what they're doing. They got the 3rd tier wizard up, which that defense will defend everything until round 8. I think Spaced Purples might get defended if Quincy can pop every single Spaced Purple Bloom layer. But they might need a little bit of help for Spaced Purples. That's definitely a send I'll be utilizing on round 8. But until then, we just save for a banana plantation next. And I could obviously remove the obstacles as well to make my glaive ricochet do a better job. At the moment, I'm not really leaking lives, and if I'm leaking, it's not too many, so it's just better for me to save that cash, I think. Later, I will be removing that, though, for sure. Both got our plantations up. Let's send the spaced purple balloons now. Do we get to see a third? Does this even overrun Quincy? It appears to be. It's actually Boomerang. Oh. Boomerang Wizard Farm is interesting. Okay. And they chose a Wizard Start over a Boomerang Start, which I also think is interesting. I mean, I think Wizard Start's fine, so it's not really... Like, Boomerang Start would have been much, much better for them, but I feel like it still probably would have been more optimal. I don't know. Alright. Now we're going to remove this obstacle, because there's so many zebras. It's round 9. I think they're trying to space out their zebras where my ricochet doesn't jump between them. You see how they're sending them like... Okay, now they're sending region zebras. It didn't really work for them. Let's use that ability. I should be fine against all of this. Yeah, we're chilling. Interesting rush. It would have been more effective for them to just send me a white balloon rush in round 11. I have enough for my more glaives at this point. Alright, they got their plant... Oh, they stole their plantation. Wait a second. Well, they are just all-outing me. Okay, more glaives defends all of that. Camo party targeting on you. Let's sell this for this. And I'm dead. What the heck? Counter espionage is trash. I don't know why I did just tower boost that right away. Like, I waited to tower boost, which was just really dumb. I had no business losing that match, but yeah, counter espionage just completely missed all of those purple balloons with the shot. That was crazy. I deserve to lose that though. Like, I don't know why I just didn't tower boost right away. Alright, we got Salmon Ladder for the next match. Let's bring it back after that kind of embarrassing loss, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, we're on Bulldog Spike Factory. First eco strategy with Quincy today. This is one eco loadout that benefits a lot from Quincy in my opinion. It's a classic. We're gonna do a boat in Quincy start. Now opponent brought Sentai Churchill, I think, which is actually an incredibly strong hero on this map. I don't like their placement for it though, I'll be honest. You know, you listened to what I said about Sentai Churchill earlier with the lines, which their spot is good in that regard. But the problem with their location is how far back on the map it is. It's going to get layered on incredibly hard. A better spot is like this earlier bend, which is still pretty far back on the map, but it's going to get layered on a lot less and help your defense out more because of that. So yeah, you'll see I can probably, I'm guessing, utilize layered rushes against this guy in some of the later rounds is what I'm eyeing. Also, why am I sending space balloons? I don't know. Let's send some group stuff. It's not a pure eco loadout though, because we do obviously have farming towers here, rubber to gold, boat farms, all of that jazz, which I will be utilizing for sure. I think maybe we can save up for a merchantman early. So maybe we don't full commit our eco and save for like around 4 merchant. That would be pretty epic if I can pull that off. Quincy does give us some greeting capabilities, which is nice. Heli. Oh, Heli with Churchill is really interesting. Okay. I don't know what to expect from that, in all honesty. I'm not too sure. They aren't sending me in space pink balloons, which would do damage against me, so I guess I'm happy about that. I'll take it. Let's get our farmer and our balloon bot down. And we can't afford the merchantman time. Perfect. Now, merchantman is a big greed play because I do need to buy quite a bit of defense. I think I'll need a cannon ship, unfortunately, to defend white balloons consistently on this map. So yeah, now we gotta start upgrading this guy. But they're just going full eco, okay? So they're not even gonna rush me with white balloons off the start, which gives me a little bit more time to afford. Let's use Cyber Quincy ability now. Perfect. And then in 2 eco boosts, I can afford that cannon ship. 1 more eco boost. Perfect. I'd say that was a pretty clean early game. Leaked a couple lives, but again, life count doesn't really matter here. It's not like my strategy is built for around 40. We aren't necessarily trying to take it super late game here. Now, opponent's strategy might actually be built for the late game because they've got Heli, which is generally seen as a more of a late game tower. Not really as a DPS option in most cases, but as a support, farming, life regain, all of that stuff. Okay, let's get another farm here though. Well, actually, let's not do another farm. Since Sentai Churchill's so far back, let's do a layered rush. Black balloons and yellow balloons coming in. They're going to struggle against this. Sentai Churchill also lacks Pierce, which is where the yellows are incredibly good. And Spike Factory. Alright, I'm assuming the third tower is Alchemist. It's probably a Heli Alchemist Spike Factory. Do they need to tower boost this? They might need to. They did tower boost. Just in time. Nicely done. That was very delayed, but they got it. And now the opponent's got a big spike pile in the back. So it's interesting. I feel like we both have Alchemist Spike Factory strategies. Let's give them a emote back. And if they don't pressure me at all here, I would like to save up for a second Merchantman, ideally. Which I think we'll just get on the left side. Why not? Trying to get like as top left as possible here. There we go. I guess the third doesn't have to be Alchemist. It could be something else. But that's my number one pick. They actually go for a whole Deadly Spikes. Okay, they're investing a lot of money into the Spike Factory upgrades. They're playing it safe over there. If I get rushed, I'm probably going to go for an Alch buff for my cannon ship. Now, if I don't get rushed, I could honestly go for like a really early favorite trades or just another Merchantman. Both are fine plays. I get another Merchantman right this round or wait one round to get favorite trades up, which I think I'll wait. Let's force the Razor Rotors on their end. I should be able to do that with just some lead balloons, I'd imagine. Yep, there it is. We still do not see their third. But their defense right now is still actually pretty weak. Even with the Deadly Spikes, they don't have much just damage in general. One Razor Rotors is not going to do much if you don't have an Alch buff on it. So I could pressure them. But I also do want to get a Rubber to Gold on my end. Because there's lead balloons that come out from the AI path on round 14. And then Rubber to Gold also makes it so if my opponent rushes me, I just make money from the rush, which is nice. Rubber to Gold has been bought. And now I think it's time to pressure them. They've got money in hand though. They haven't sent me anything in forever, so I should have forced some defense here. What's their plan? They tower boost and use turbo damage as a bomb. So we actually forced two things there. Okay, we're gonna Cyber Quincy ability and tower boost. And get that up. Holy cow, that was a big rush. I knew they were saving money though. Like I just talked about that, so we weren't necessarily caught off guard. I just didn't think they were gonna send it all at once. Are they gonna re-rush me? They are. We're gonna go for this. And that should be able to defend. I also should have cross-pathed my boat with long range a while ago. That was a mistake on my end. And I should just be able to counter pressure them and they're dead here. Because remember, they used all their abilities against my previous rush. That Deadly Spikes pile. Oh my gosh. Wait a second. Holy cow. Okay, I'm not dead here though. We still have tower boosts and stuff available, but like, what? I did not know Deadly Spikes was built like that. I'll be honest. We both pull that and they're dead. And I can just tower boost and ability this. Yeah. Okay. Dude, how is that Deadly Spikes pile still there? Wait a second. What the heck? That's got to be one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. It's not even like they Alch buffed it or anything. I guess it's because they got so unbelievably early and that Spikes just didn't time out yet. But that's actually crazy. I've never seen one Deadly Spikes without an Alch buff defend that many balloons. That was ridiculous. Alright, last match of today's video, guys, takes us to Banana Depot, another map where I think Quincy could be utilized pretty dang well just because, obviously, it's a more difficult map. And we'll start with Tack and Quincy up right here. We're going Tack Wizard Farm, actually, which, you know, a lot of you guys might be hyped about that because it's been a long time since I've gone Tack Wizard Farm. It's one of the OG loadouts, though. An opponent extra moved the back obstacle, which is interesting. And they're starting with Bonnie. Wait, what? Okay, this might not be the last match. What is this loadout? They might just die early game starting with Bonnie like that. Well, they have a Dart Monkey as well. So, that is actually quite a good spike up ult spot. Maybe they're cooking here. I thought they were a noob initially when I saw that Bonnie play. But maybe they're cooking. They tower boost. Is he cooking, chat, or is he burning down the kitchen? That's the question of the day. They got their spike up ult up. Nicely done. Now, Spike Up ult is strong in the location, but the problem with it is the fact you can layer incredibly hard, so that's exactly what I'm going to eye up doing. We're just in red balloons initially. And then I'm going to layer group blues, and then greens, and then yellows. That's the plan. Right, group blues, greens, and yellows on top. What's their plan against all of this? They actually cross-path their Spike Up ult, so I'm assuming that will probably defend. We'll see, though. It's still actually getting overrun, low-key. Yeah, if we just keep doing layered rushes on them, they're going to need to get a Juggernaut early game. I'm pretty sure. Layered rushes are going to get them. We'll do it again. Reds. Blues. I'm going to crosspath my attack shooter. Greens. Yellows. Pinks. Now, they could obviously use a minecart explosion, which they end up doing, okay. But that means they won't have a minecart explosion for round 5 now. On my next layer rush. Reds again. I think you guys can see the theme here. Blues. This time around, we have grouped greens unlocked. Grouped greens. We're going to use a Quincy ability, and then whites on top. And also on my end, I need to get a blade shooter up. Okay, they get double spikeable. That's actually balloon boost. They're dead. They're so dead. Yeah, layering just goes absolutely crazy there. Okay, I'll do another match because that was a short one. But just showcasing how layering can be super effective. 2 spike bolts and tower boosts just didn't even pop everything there. Alright, actual last match this time. We got another one of those difficult maps for Cyber Quincy. Certainly will be utilized well. I think we'll start with him in this location. Opponent's going with Boomerang, okay. Boomerang is interesting. Since there's going to be spaced blues on round 1, I actually might go for Banana Farm here. Even though it's a difficult map, typically you don't want to go for round 1 banana farms on difficult maps with Quincy. But Space Blue Nico is easier to defend than Group Reds, so I won't leak as much here. This could be a really bad decision, but you know, I'm full of bad decisions. And they got their B team down round 1, nicely done. Let's get my submarine down right here. Okay, they're balloon boosting at me. I'm gonna tower boost. I'm a tower boost. I'm fine with that. If they balloon boosted, I'm fine tower boosting. Because we got $80 of bananas there, so it's kind of worth it in my eyes. You know, the extra greed. $120 of bananas now. Extra greed is very nice. We're gonna get this to a twin guns. Perfect. And send my opponent some spaced yellows. Okay, why is the twin guns actually sucks? What the heck? Every single twin gun shot is seeking into the rock. That is awful. Oh my gosh. I could put in like last targeting, but then a lot of balloons would just sneak by. I think I should get airburst here. Man, that sucked. I did not realize the submarine was built like that. Okay. Now with airburst, we should be fine, but ouch. You know? That was a certified ouch moment. Alright, let's get increased production here. Perfect. We're defending pink balloons, low key. I still don't know if this is actually the best submarine spot. I know Spike Factory Farm is very popular on this map, but I don't exactly know the most optimal way to play it, you know what I'm saying? We're kind of learning as we go. Alright, white balloons, we are going to need to use a Quincy ability to defend these. I'm going to wait on it though, till now. Cyber Quincy ability should be able to handle. I actually probably could have waited even longer than that. They got the ricochet up, nicely done. I'm actually going to balloon boost because the balloons have traveled far, and the ricochet might throw. Triple guns. Oh, wait. Is it throwing? It looked like they were leaking a lot, but I guess not. Oh, no, we got some leaks on them, but not really what I was looking for with that balloon boost. It's fine. It's fine, it's fine. What do we think their third is? Their third's probably Spike Factory here, is my guess. Most likely both go in Spike Factory loads, which is interesting. Sub Spike Factory Farm versus Boomerang Spike Factory Farm. Alright, let's get our plantation up. Come on. Perfect. Love to see that. We've got them out farmed slightly. They were getting lives, so nicely done. Over there. And then another farm on my end. Do I want to go for the top crosspath or bottom crosspath bank? Because it's a difficult map, I think in bottom crosspath bank this time around. That'll be my plan. It cooks up slower, but it's much cheaper. That's probably fine. Valuable bananas, nice. And do I want to get Spike Factory down? They have Spike Factory as well. Yep, there it is. Okay, we'll both get Spike Factory down. I'm gonna go for a... What is it called? A 202 Spike Factory. Or 102, not 202. Alright, send them White Balloon Rush. They're sending me one. We Cyber Quincy ability here. I'm gonna tower boost this as well. Okay, we forced their beast form, that's good. They are most likely gonna re-rush me. Are they gonna send me camos? Send them a rush. We wanna force the more glaives. There it is. Nice. Okay. We still don't have a decamo sub on our end. I can buy it pretty easily, but if they don't force it, I'd like to get Monkey Bank up. We still have some spikes in the back as well. And it looks like they aren't forcing it. Which means we can get a bank this round. Come on. Nice. Nice greed play. Lead popping on that. And we'll go for some more eco. Okay. So we have them out farmed, which is solid. They sold their spike factory for the bank. Nicely done. Let's get a little bit more eco in here. I don't know how much more I actually want to go for. Maybe like get to 800 or 850. And then we call it. Let's go 850. I think it's a fine amount. Interesting that they still haven't forced my decamo sub. I guess it's because Quincy has camo detection, so it's like a little bit expensive to force it. That's most likely why. I'm going to keep greeting though. We'll get the spike factory back here though. I do want to build a pile, especially after we saw how crazy that deadly spikes was. Like maybe I can replicate it, you know? Long life. They got their long life up as well. Nicely done. Okay, we have to be careful in case they send me a Moab. Currently, we don't have like very much Moab class damage at all, since arm piercing darts is at the top. Deadly spikes, nice. I'm gonna sell that sub. Oh my gosh. My throat's dry, and we're fine. Okay. So, I don't even know how to play this matchup. Like, where do I actually pressure my opponent hard? I'm not sure. Because I think they do have a late game advantage with their loadout. So I can't just like full passive it, you know what I'm saying? We've got to rush them at some point. I'm thinking ZMGs, tight ceramics, stuff like that is probably my go-ahead. Fortified mobs normally aren't a good rush against their loadout because they have BTN, which one can take fortified mobs and also just use the BTN ability against fortified mobs, so I'd have to send like a lot to force a little bit, you know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be smart. Alright, can I fit a farm there? No, I have to remove the obstacle to fit more farms, that's fine. We'll put one up here. I should be fine against these ceramics. Our deadly spikes pile in the back is also really big at this point. Alright, Moab. Should be good against this. I'm thinking about just going for a really early Nomics. Which is super greedy. I know. I'm not gonna go for an early Nomics. They're rushing me. That's fine. Wait. Arrows. Ability. I should be fine here. Yeah, I didn't want to use my tower boost. Using tower boost there I think would have been bad for me. Okay, that was good. That was well played. We want to save our last tower boost. Or they got their Nomics up, nicely done. They got spiked mines on the side and their tower boosted. But now I can send group ceramics. Yeah, they have still their Nomics, that's what I'm talking about. They had to play it super safe because they didn't have a big spiked mines pile. That's where we get the lead. Okay. That's how we had to play it. That's exactly what we're looking for, guys. Collect you. I'm a float on that one. I need to get a Nomics up is really what comes down to, but getting a Nomics up is going to be so difficult here while having sufficient defense. That's going to be incredibly difficult. How much these? Okay, I can try to do the math mentally here. The mental math. I think I can get it up in a second. With selling this and using the ability. Let's do it. Collect. Collect. Sell. Nomics. Or are they rushing me? Arrows. Collect this. Spike mines back. Spike storm. Cyber Quincy ability. We defend. Nice. Nice. Crap. I sold! That's not what I meant to do! No! I'm so bad at the game! I'm so bad at the game! I clicked the wrong button on my keyboard, dude. I wanted to get the sub commander. Man, if I got sub commander there and tower boosted, it actually just defends everything. And then I could have spike stormed the last DT. Oh my gosh, I did everything correct until the very end when I just clicked the wrong button on my keyboard and died because of it. That's so frustrating. GG, that was a fun match.